In La Belle Province. Let's go all the way to Quebec City now and say hello to Callum Smith. Hello, Callum. How are you? Nice to have you on the show. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, mate. I'm all good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Thank you so much. First, could I ask, I'm from Montreal originally, so a few hours south of Quebec City, and I know what it's like in January in Montreal. What is it like in January in Quebec City? How cold is it for you over there?
It's cold. It's cold. Very cold. It's quite nice. The snow's nice. Nice being inside. I've never seen snow like what we're getting here, but it's good. Another place ticked off the list where I visited through boxing. So yeah, we're all good. We're in a good spirit.
Are you the kind of fighter? I know some fighters say that they don't like cutting weight in cold climates. Is it hard for you when you're in frigid temperatures like that?
Yeah. So obviously you listen to your nutritionist, but I think just the final weight cut's obviously a little bit tougher when it's cold. You're trying to get a sweat on, and it's hard to get somewhere where you can do that properly. But no, you make do it what conditions you've got, and I'm sure the weight cut will be okay tomorrow and be away and okay Friday.
You know, I was looking at your Instagram yesterday, and two things kind of hit me near and dear to my heart. Number one, your son's name is River, and that's my daughter's middle name, so I love the name because it can go for a boy or girl. And then the other thing that hit me in my heart was that it was just your daughter's birthday. I believe yesterday was your daughter's birthday, and I know as a father of three as well, I've always tried to not miss birthdays. And so I'm just wondering how difficult that was for you to not be there for your daughter on her birthday.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Obviously, I'm a family man. I've got two amazing children at home, and I love spending every day I can with them. And to miss a birthday, and she's 5 years of age, so it's kind of a big deal to her. Was tough, and I think that just shows the side of boxing that people don't really see the sacrifices you make throughout the years. And there's a lot of sacrifices you make which you kind of expect to, but missing my little girl's birthday was tough, but it's a sacrifice you've got to do. You want to be the very best, and hopefully I can be successful Saturday night and we can celebrate them. But yeah, it wasn't ideal, but that's just part and parcel of the sport. I'm not the only fighter who probably missed one of the child's birthdays, but it's not one of the better parts of the sport. But it has to be done, and it did in this case.
Perhaps it was made easier by the fact that I understand that the majority of your training camps as of late have had to take place in the U.S., but this time your head trainer came to Liverpool, right, Buddy McGirt? So you got to spend more time at home. That must have been nice for the family.
Yeah, definitely. That was a lot better than the last few camps were spent a lot of weeks over in the States. So for Buddy to come over to Liverpool for the full camp this time was definitely a lot helpful for me with the children, and a lot helpful for me partner as well, help with them with the school run and stuff. So yeah, it made life that little bit easier. And as I say, I've come from a close-knit family. I'm a family person, so it's always a little bit easier getting the tough work and the tough sessions done when you know you're in familiar surroundings.
So this fight, like I said, we thought we were going to get it several months ago. He has to withdraw. He has an issue with his teeth. And then all of a sudden now it's in January, and of course you have to miss your daughter's birthday and whatnot. How difficult was that period for you? Because you're starting to peak, right? You're getting mentally ready. You're in the midst of the camp, and now all of a sudden you have to take your foot off the gas. How disappointing was that?
Yeah, it was disappointing, deflating. I'd done most of the training camp, so I was ready to go at the time when the postponement happened, and then to put it back to January when obviously you had to. Christmas wasn't the best year, and then obviously my son's birthday was last weekend. My little girl's birthday was yesterday. So, but again, it's just little sacrifices you've got to make. I'm fighting for 3 world title belts. It's the biggest fight possible out there for me, and these are the fights I'm in boxing for. So if it means making a few more sacrifices, then it's what I'll do to become a world champion again. But it's not ideal. But we're here now. I've had a good camp. I'm in a very good place, and hopefully, I think when we were here in the summer, the weather was a lot nicer. It was like a completely different place, but it is what it is. You take the good with the bad, and I'm here to do a job, and that's to win, regardless of what conditions or what sacrifices I've had to make.
Why was the makeup date pushed so far down the line? Why did it go all the way to January? You don't know.
You tell me. I don't know. I'm the challenger. I just got told a new date. That's it. You've got to just say. I think when you're champion, you get to call the shot a little bit more. I thought when it was postponed from August, we were looking more towards September, October, maybe even November. But when they said January, I was a little bit surprised, and like I said, disappointed. Obviously, the first thing you think is that Christmas cancelled this year, but here now. I've done it. I've done the hard part, the training over Christmas and missing my little girl's birthday. So now it's just time to get in and perform.
And that also meant you didn't fight last year. You were inactive, right? How frustrating was that?
Yeah, massive. I think as a fighter, activity is key. I've always said I'm at my best when I'm active, and I was going into the original date a little bit inactive, but it was what it was, and then to postpone and then not get a fight in the interim is frustrating. But I think at the highest level, I'm a professional enough, and as long as camp's gone well, I don't really believe too much in ring rust. Obviously, if you get your timing in, it may take a little bit longer, but once I'm in there, I'll adjust and say I believe I'm good enough to go and become a world champion again this weekend.
So I'm curious how you feel about this, and I will admit I'm somewhat guilty of this as well. Dimitry Bivol fights on December 23rd, and everyone's like, Bivol, Beterbiev, that's the fight we all want. Like, they're even talking about it on the broadcast. Even Eddie Hearn on the show on Monday was talking about how he knows that, Saudi Arabia wants that fight. It seems like everyone wants that fight, and now here you are trying to ruin those plans. Do you feel disrespected by all this talk? Does it annoy you?
No, not so much, because if you take the fact we're fighting out the picture, they're the two best light heavyweights in the world. They're the only two champions. They've got all the belts between them. So it's a fight that, to be totally honest with you, it should have happened. They've both been champion for about 5 years and they've never fought each other for whatever reason. I have no idea. But all of a sudden the talk's happening now. A little bit disrespectful when obviously I've got a fight scheduled in with Beterbiev, but it'll just make my win a little bit more sweeter knowing that I've ruined a lot of people's plans. But I'm not mad at people for wanting to see that fight, because it is a good fight. At the moment, it's the best for the best until hopefully Sunday morning when it's no talk of me v Bivol. That's the plan.
Is there a rematch clause between you and Artur?
No, I'm a mandatory challenger, so if I win, I'm free to go and go and do whatever I want and go and fight for undisputed against Bivol and, like I say, take his place in that fight.
So is that the dream? Like, because I could see then there would be some pressure of maybe running it back. You would say, no, let me go to Bivol now, and that could be an easy fight because he's with Matchroom as well.
Yeah, it should be pretty simple to make, and say that we'll be the only two champions in the weight division, so it's the only fight that makes sense for either of us, to be honest with you. So I think it's a natural fight that should be made. The winner of the fight this weekend, I think Dimitry Bivol's already shown his interest in his side of it. So a lot of things in boxing aren't straightforward, but I think the winner of this fight against Bivol should be the most straightforward fight to make.
Do you think that Artur Beterbiev is worthy of all the hype and praise that he receives? Obviously, he's undefeated. We know he has dynamite in his hands. But is there sort of like a boogeyman aspect to him where some people are more intimidated by like the myth of Artur Beterbiev as opposed to like, what he actually brings to the table? What do you think?
Yeah, a bit of both. I think people do probably read into it a little bit too much. They create this big monster, and they kind of just forget the fact that he has been hurt. He has been down twice professionally. People seem to quick to forget that. But his achievements do speak for themselves. He's undefeated world champion. He's knocked everyone out he's ever faced, and he holds 3 world titles. So at some point, he does deserve the credit he gets. But I do think people get a little bit carried away with it, that he's invincible, when I don't believe he is. If you can show me, prime Mike Tyson can lose, a prime Roy Jones Jr. can lose, then don't tell me Artur Beterbiev's unbeatable.
So without giving away the game plan, can you give us some sort of roadmap to success for you? What kind of holes do you see in his game right now?
Yeah, I just think, look, he's a good fighter, but he's not the hardest person to hit. He can be hit. He does lose rounds. He doesn't whitewash all his opponents. At the time of a lot of the stoppages, some of them are pretty close. So I've just got to believe in myself and how good I am. And I've had the same mindset my whole career. The best version of me turns up. I beat anyone in the world, regardless of who's in the opposite corner. You can't overemphasize on what they're going to do and what they're good at. I think the best version of me can beat anyone on the planet, and I fully stand by that, and I plan on proving that this weekend.
I don't think it's like a hot take to say probably your most high-profile fight since the Canelo fight, right? That's the lone blemish on your record. Are there any lessons you learned from that experience? And fighting Canelo is a beast unto itself, but now here you are in his adopted home province. He's the big star, whatever. Just about dealing with everything that comes with it, and maybe the nerves as well, that you hope not to replicate on Saturday.
Yeah, I think when you lose, it highlights areas what you need to improve on. And I made a few changes to my team, and I moved up in weight division after it. And little changes what I probably wouldn't have made if as long as you're winning, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But I think when you lose, it kind of gives you that clarity. And like I say, I made a few changes, and I believe it's made me a much better fighter because of that. And I plan on going in there this weekend and just rectifying that performance. Too many people judged me on that performance. It was a bad performance, and people kind of don't really let it go, and they always judge my chances in this fight based on that performance. When, believe me, that version of Callum Smith doesn't turn up this weekend, and that's what I plan on showing. I'm a much better fighter at 175. I'm a much better fighter training under Buddy McGirt, and it's down to me now to go in and prove that and show the adjustments, show the improvements, and become a world champion.
Do you feel like this is a chance to right the wrong of the Canelo experience, or is it two totally different stories?
Two different stories, a completely different weight division, different opponent, but it all at the end of the day, it's my career, and I'll get judged at all my achievements throughout it. And I was a world champion down at super middle. I lost it to Canelo, and then I think to move up a weight division into a division where not many people give me a chance because of the Canelo performance. If I couldn't beat Canelo, I'm going to move up and become a world champion. But I believe I've looked pretty good in the two fights at this weight division, and I plan on making it a hat-trick, and I say taking his 3 belts off him and becoming a 2-division world champion.
Any concerns about not getting a fair shake in Quebec?
No, not really. I think as a fighter, there's enough things to worry about besides worrying about whether the judges are going to give you the decision. If it goes to points, and I believe I've done enough to win the fight, then I'm confident they'll give me a fair shake. If they don't, it's out of my hands. That's not my problem. But I can't go in there worrying about it and let it affect my performance and my tactics. I've got to just do what I need to do to win, whether that's win on points or whether I knock them out. But I say there's enough things to worry about besides worrying about the judging as well.
And just curious, Eddie told us on Monday, I think he lost the purse bid by like 5,000 or something, a crazy number, a minuscule number. What has it been like now, going through this process with Top Rank?
It's been okay. They've been pretty good to deal with. They're a big promotional company, very well run. They've looked after us since we've been here, and the fact that I've had to travel doesn't really faze me. I've boxed Saudi Arabia, America, Germany. I've boxed all over the world, and even more so as an amateur. So the travel aside doesn't bother me as much as it probably would certain fighters who are not used to it and prefer to fight at home. So I've travelled over there with my team. I say I've got a close-knit team who are good people to have around me. They keep me relaxed. They keep me focused on the job when needs to be. And I say I'm having a good fight week, and all the hard work's done. Now it's just about tapering down and gearing up so I'll peak on the weekend. I
love the way Eddie described flying to Quebec to support you, comparing it to going to like an away day if you're supporting a football club on the road, and that he's gonna be a full-fledged Callum Smith fan. He doesn't have to be unbiased for this one. He's going to jump over the ropes when you shock the world. It was great to hear. And he posted a picture of you guys from many years ago, I think maybe when you signed one of the first contracts with him. Can I just ask about your relationship with him over the years? And obviously Matchroom has come a very long way since you signed with him, to see where they've become now. What is your relationship like with Eddie?
Yeah, I've always had a decent enough relationship with him. I've been with him since the start of my career, and we've both kind of delivered on both ends. He's given me the opportunities and I've took them, and I think that's important. Whatever he said he'd do for me, he's done, and I've done my side as well. It's no good him getting me opportunities if I'm not taking them. So I think we've both worked together over the years, and so hopefully we can finish with 3 world titles this weekend.
I mentioned your brother's win over Chris Eubank last year. Does that come up at all? Like just the idea of being the one to ruin plans, to shock the world, things like that. Do you use any of that as inspiration? Does that come up between you guys talking, or the team talking? Any of that come up?
Not so much, but I definitely say use that as inspiration. I've always looked up to my 3 older brothers and always wanted to be like them. And it just shows, regardless of people's opinion and no one giving you a chance, if you believe in yourself and you go in there and do what you know you're capable of doing, you can always upset the odds. And Liam done it last year, and I plan on doing it this year.
And by the way, what about the modeling for Liverpool? I saw that on your social media as well. How did that come about? Nice stuff. I liked it. You look like a pro.
I don't know. He just messaged me. I don't know why he wanted me, but he asked me to do it. And obviously, being from Liverpool and being a Liverpool fan, it was an opportunity I couldn't really afford to pass up on. But no, I'm no model. I think I'll stick to boxing.
Did you get shit from your friends? Did they make fun of you for that?
No, I think because it was Liverpool, they were a little bit, it's not too bad. But if it was anything else, I probably would. Because it was a Liverpool Football Club, they were kind of say fair play.
You think they win it all this year?
I didn't at the start of the season. I thought it was a bit of a rebuild process, but they're not doing too bad at the minute, at the top of the league, and they seem to be doing well. So fingers crossed they can keep it up. But I think it's a bit of a surprise for most Liverpool fans. Oh, yeah. I think they thought maybe another couple more years before they're back on top. But you never know. Football, it's a funny game.
Yeah, it's unfortunate now that they lose Mo Salah to this this Asian Cup tournament, or no, the AFCON tournament, excuse me. So that's going to be key for them. Last thing before I let you go, you know, there's a lot of famous MMA fighters from Liverpool, Paddy Pimblett and Darren Till and Meatball Molly. Do you have any do you ever like run into them, cross paths with them over there?
Yeah, more so Darren Till. He's doing a lot of boxing training at the club at the under ABC where I train, and I've done most of my camp for this fight. So I see Darren most days. He's a good lad. He works hard, and obviously Molly and Paddy from Liverpool, and I share the same S&C coach as Leon Edwards as well. So I've followed his career for a few years as well. He's the man at the minute, isn't he? So yeah, the UK MMA is getting bigger and bigger, and especially Liverpool.
I know Darren is fancying a boxing career. Do you think he's? I know he trains at the same gym, so you're obviously not going to make fun of him. But like, does he have what it takes? He's kind of disappeared.
No, he does. Yeah, the stand-up's pretty good, and it's getting better as well. Now he's focusing just on the boxing side, the striking, rather than having to mix it in with everything. So he's improving all the time, and I think he's open to make an announcement pretty soon. But I think he's going to step over into the boxing world, and I think he's still got plans to always go back to the MMA. But I think for now it's something new to him, which I think is like revitalised him a little bit, given the bit between his teeth, and I think he's enjoying training again and enjoying probably learning a striking from actual boxers, so to speak. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled. I think he'll have a big 24.
Okay, what's the official prediction? How do you get it done on Saturday?
I think I'll knock him out. I think it's an exciting fight. I think you've got two punches. You can't really expect it to go the distance. He's never been there before, and from my side, I believe he's shown vulnerability. So I think it'll be exciting while it lasts, but I think I'll knock him out.
Can't wait. Pleasure to have you on. Really enjoyed it very much. All the best to you, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you. See you soon.
There he is, Callum Smith. Huge opportunity for him against one of the very best boxers on the planet. Like I said, if you're a UFC fan, obviously you're going to watch the first show of the year. Stick around afterwards. This is a great card. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You could get many more of these videos on the channel, so please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.